Check, check, 1, 2. Oh, perfect, good. Somebody can hear me at least. Alright, this it happens at around about 8:14ish. So we still got a ways to go. I'm still trying to set up. I have multiple cameras set up, so this is going to be kind of interesting. Just to give you an idea, that's the other camera. I need to turn off all that junk that you see on the screen because I'm sure you don't really want to see all of that. And this is the ASI 2600 color version, obviously, because the sky's blue. And there is a filter on this right now, hence why it has that weird kind of halo. I shouldn't really have a filter on here because it's a very, 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 very wide angle lens. It's a 6.5mm, so it's a bit, you know, big. Wide field of view, you know. Literally, I can see my hands coming in, ooh, you know. So it's quite a wide field of view. But hopefully you guys will be able to see this train go past. If you haven't already, there is a website you can actually go to check this out. It's actually called Heavens Above. Oh, hello. They've updated the timing, I think. So the first part... okay, so the first part starts at 8:08 and ends at 10 past 8. And then it picks back up again an hour... it says 9:39 here, and that's the big one that we're waiting on. So it's going to be a long one. I might have to go get my jacket and everything, so I don't want to freeze myself to death. Not that it's that cold, but how is everyone doing? You can talk on the chat, so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. We want to capture in 24 RGB. Good. Hello, Ross. Don't believe I've ever seen you on before, but welcome. Okay, so we're looking at this, I think, May 10th. Okay, so, sorry, I was looking at the wrong thing. It was actually 8:14 it starts. So if you've got this app, hopefully you can see it. It kind of tells you everything. And this is hopefully what we're going to be seeing. Don't know if you can really see any of that, but the actual website is Heavens Above. So I'm just going to put the link in here. Above.com. Let me just make sure the link is correct. Huzzah! Alright, so I will be adjusting settings on the fly when this comes over, because literally the sun just went down at 7:24. If you're wondering what that noise is, that's my neighbour. He's playing FIFA or something along those lines. should whoop his ass one day playing that game. Alright, I'm going to go get a jacket because I'm starting to feel the cold and I don't want to get eaten by the bugs. So for now, I'm just going to leave the live view up, which is, I believe, this camera here. You can see my hideous hands coming into shot. There is another camera, which is this one here. This is more like a live action. It's in near real time. I will show you the setup in just a second. But let me just grab a jacket because I can kind of feel the cold. Oops, wrong button. Alright, I'm back. Got my GFX camera here as well, so I can grab a few stills while I'm at it. Like I said, I have no idea what to expect. I've never seen one of these before. So for all we know, we could just get a patch of nothing. But that's why I have multiple cameras set up, and hopefully one of these damn cameras will catch something. Who knows? We'll figure it out as it happens. Alright, if you guys got any questions, feel free to post them. I'll be more than happy to answer anything that comes through. Oh, there's a helicopter. Alright, hopefully that helicopter is going to come into frame so I know I can see it or not. Of course, he's going the other way. Yeah, police helicopter, he's kind of far off the other side. Oh, good. So Randy sounds like you've already seen it before, so it's good to know. Like I said, I have no idea what to expect, so who knows? This could be a complete waste of time, or it might not. Ernie, what are we going for tonight? The answer is we are going to try and see the Starlink choo-choo train go whizzing past. I know it's a bit of an interesting subject in that sense because a lot of people don't like the idea of SpaceX launching so many satellites up. This is actually part of a video that I'm going to be creating, but I thought it'd be nice for you guys to watch this live at the same time for some people who don't get to see this, or if you're actually in LA and you're sucked in underneath a pile of clouds, well, at least this is one way to see it. I just got to make sure that the path is covered. So I believe it should, well, I've got no reference for stars, but it will go right through the Big Dipper. I mean, it's kind of interesting because it does actually intersect with Ursa Major, two of the stars, so if you can kind of see that. Oh, you bastard. Just do that again, preferably without touching anything this time. You can kind of see it in the star map. It does go through two of the major stars inside of the Big Dipper. So that's going to be kind of interesting. This camera, which is this one here, should definitely catch it. The other camera is about in the right position because I kind of know my own sky. This is actually my backyard. That's the camera. That's the tip of one of the trees sitting right there. It should be literally looking at the Big Dipper. I just wanted to get some real-time footage of this and avoid the bugs at the same time. And it's now 7:30. We still got a good 45 minutes to go, so feel free to ask any questions and that kind of stuff, because it's a long old wait, and I'm sure you just don't want to hear me talk about nothing and flap around aimlessly for the next 45 minutes. So might as well squeeze some questions in now. If you haven't had your dinner, I suggest you do it now. If you haven't had a drink, go get a drink. Somebody fire up their PS4 and beat this guy so he stops screaming. Okay, are you guys okay with having all this gibberish on the screen? If you're not, I can remove it. I'd rather do it now than later. Just say something in the chat and say, yeah, get rid of all that junk, it's annoying or not. Right, while we do that, just got to do one minor thing. Don't worry, I haven't gone. I'm just messing with stuff. Oh, that was a bug that just flew past. You should still hear me. Ooh. Bird was about to hit us. I'm going to be fighting some of the light for me because I am outside. I don't know if backlight compensation is going to do it good. Oh, I think I'm just getting bitten already. For those of you wondering about the hardware, I am using a ZWO ASI 2600 color version. I don't have the monochrome version, but I do have the QHY equivalent of that. I also have, as a live camera that's running right now, is a Blackmagic 6K Pocket Cinema camera with spare batteries and the whole 9 yards just in case, because I may have to switch the batteries out in a little bit just to make sure that we don't wear everything out, so it might have to just flicker on and off real quick. But two cameras, stills camera, just to try and catch some cool stuff, maybe not, I don't know. Like I said, I've never seen it before, so he's playing FIFA. If you really want to know, he's playing FIFA. I don't know if you guys can hear him screaming in the background. Oh boy. Alright. Okay, we got auto white balance, so we can see the darkness coming. Let's get this to unity gain just in case. 139. We're not going to do any long exposure streaking star stuff. It's probably not going to be as fun. Just so you guys know, the timings apart from each Starlink satellite is roughly 4 seconds at the shortest interval, going as high as 8 seconds to the next interval. But hopefully they'll just be one after the other. And this actually goes on for quite some time, according to this. So at 8:14 is when they enter into shot. I probably won't see it from that side of the fence, so we'll probably see it a couple of seconds later, and it'll go on for 4 minutes hopefully. So it'll be one heck of a thing to watch. Will they pass near M81 and M8? Probably. Just so you guys know, I am dreadful with Messier numbers. You tell me the name of the object, I could probably say yay or nay, but if you start throwing Messier numbers at me, I'll be like, you what? I can tell you now it goes through the Big Dipper and heads off towards Virgo, so it comes from the west. Why does this keep doing this? Yeah, it's coming from the northwest and ends in the southeast. Southeast is over there somewhere. So northeast, south, so west is over there. You've got this thing all jumbled up. So yeah, west comes from over there, should shoot across over that way. So if we adjust this camera slightly, hopefully this will cover as much of the sky as possible. Oh, Bodes and Cigar. It comes very, very close. So I'm just watching the police helicopter go whizzing back round. In fact, let's see if we can catch that guy. So this camera, so south is where my finger is. I don't even see where that dude is. Where is he? He should be coming into frame. Oh, he's there somewhere. He's just really small. I don't think this lens has the resolving power to even pick up something like that. Alright, so this camera is pretty much pointed straight at the zenith, and this is not a tracking mount. But this pretty much gives us a good idea of where they're coming from. And this camera hopefully will capture them coming, the other camera, so it's this camera here will hopefully capture them coming in. It's as much as this camera can tilt down, I think. Yeah. But this will be the main camera right here. Please move your finger across the camera field showing the expected movement view. Okay, hold on. So if my finger is here, this should be north, okay? And here should be south. So west is here. I would assume that it will come across like this is my assumption. It should do something like that. So it'll be a diagonal line. I will have to readjust the camera accordingly because, like I said, I have never seen this before. I don't even know what to expect. I could just be shooting blanks in the sky for all I know. The fact that I didn't see the helicopter did not bode well. But it goes on for 4 minutes. I got plenty of time to adjust. So one of these damn cameras is going to catch something, I'll tell you that much. Let me me see if I can adjust the shutter speed on this thing. Yes, I can. So that's that. The ISO does here. Perfect. White balance, so it doesn't matter. And this changes the aperture. Good. Okay. So we're set. Just so you know, there is a slight delay on this stream, so by the time you see this, it would have already started to happen for me. I think the delay is about 15 seconds, which is kind of weird. It's not a delay that I put in. It's YouTube. It's the internet. It's, you know, it does whatever it wants to do. Anything else I got to check? Just debating if I want to up the exposure time, because then it'll be a bit more streaky. Let's do, well, we'll do a test. Oh yeah, that's plenty of motion blur. The reason why I'm trying to do the motion blur, I want it to be obvious as it choo-choos through. Like I said, they'll be 8 seconds apart, so we'll see it blatantly. I will fiddle around with the settings accordingly, because I will be recording this at the same time, because this is part of a video that I'm going to be doing about satellites ruining your image, basically. Right, about half an hour out right now. If you guys are interested again, I'm going to post that link to the website that I was using, or I am using. It's called Heavens Above. If you haven't used it already, make sure you put your geographical location in before you start looking for anything. If you're here in LA and you've got clear skies, you will see it. Okay, I guarantee you, if it's clear sky and it shows up on time, you will see it. And then we'll stay live for this entire thing. Like I said, I might have to change the other battery in a moment, but it's a fresh new battery anyway. It's quite a big one. It's like this big, you know, so they should last an hour. And I've got AC just in case. Alright, like I said, if you guys got any questions before we start all of this, feel free to fire them off. You know, we're here to answer as many as we can. Hello, Mike. What are we waiting to see? We are waiting to see Starlink. Not just one. It's actually Launch 25 that happened on May 4th. For me in LA, or I'm actually just slightly outside of LA, we're going to see the whole string go over our heads, hopefully. Again, I've never seen this before. I've never done this before. I don't know what to expect. I could screw this up royally for all I know, and this could be a complete utter waste of time. But that's what we're doing. You know, I thought we'd do something different. Plus, this is part of something that I'm working on as a video that would be put on YouTube, obviously. If you haven't actually seen my QHY video about the 268 mono, that's well worth a watch. Let's see where everybody's watching from. Everybody, there's a couple of people on right now, so I know I'm not alone. Where is everybody at? Just post where you are. Okay, so here's the interesting thing about the Starlink satellite. Once they all get up there, and they'll literally be whizzing across, because they're basically creating a network, or a net for a lack of a better description. It almost looks like a net from, you know, the perspective. and it's going to provide internet for basically everybody and anybody who wants to subscribe to it. But the biggest complaint that we've had so far in general is this going to ruin the night sky for us? Are we going to have just streaks non-stop? Well, the short-term answer here is only if the sun actually strikes these things. Otherwise, if they don't reflect. There's no light to reflect, so you won't see them in general. They're so damn small to begin with, you just simply can't pick them up. I would actually turn around and say right now, a large percentage of the time where somebody says there's a streak of something going through their shot, that is not Starlink. In fact, if you actually go to the website Heavens Above, they have a live satellite link that you can see what's happening at any one given moment. Let me see if I can actually add this. I'm going to try and share my desktop somehow. Display capture maybe? No. Oh, window capture. There we go. Maybe that would work. Ha 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 ha. Alright, so hopefully you are seeing this website. If I throw in the live view, this shows us what is currently in the sky right now. As you can see, there are already 3 Starlink satellites, and there's a bunch of other junk flapping around, whizzing around. The chances are, when you're imaging, you're more likely to catch one of these other satellites than you are to actually catch Starlink, because they are so damn small. And they're only actually really visible if the sun strikes them. So for us, when we're imaging by about 11 o'clock at night, we should not see Starlink because the sun isn't in any position to be able to strike them. So there is no light reflecting off of them. They've got their anti-light coating and all that kind of gibberish. Whether or not that works is irrelevant to me. The point being here is if there is no light source on them, you cannot see them. That's just the way it goes. So hopefully you kind of got the idea behind all of that. So let's have a look at where everybody is. So we got Michael, who's over in Canada, Brian, who's near Death Valley. You might actually see this, but it'd be very low to the horizon, I assume. Ross Walker, you're in Japan. Jeez. Randy is over at St. John's, Newfoundland in Canada. Terry is over in Alberta, or Calgary, Alberta. So yeah, we got a bunch of people all over the place, which is great because I'm getting bitten here already. I'm just scratching my leg and just realised that I've just been bitten again. Should have lit one of those doohickey candles just to keep those bugs away from me. So yeah, starting to get dark now, so I may have to bump up the exposure. For such a slow-moving object, I might be able to get away with a half-second exposure. I don't want to go too much, otherwise it'll streak a lot, and I kind of don't want that. This camera is still chugging along. I think I'll just lower the aperture slightly. It's a bit too wide. This camera here is not as wide as the other one. The other one is literally an all-sky camera. This one here is a 16 to 28 millimeter. It's a film. It's actually a film lens, or made for film. So it's on a pretty big sensor, so it's not going to catch a wide swath of sky. Hopefully this is pointing right at the entry point, so I know when it's coming. This will be the main camera. I just got to remember to hit record. Bad habit of doing that. Yeah. And how these bugs are biting me through my socks and everything. Elk Grove, California. Oh, you're not far from Cosmic Backgrounds on Instagram. I believe he's in Elk Grove as well. So it's now 7:50. Just gonna check the battery level of the camera, because if I need to change it, I want to do it. Yeah, let me just do that now before I forget. Be right back. Alrighty. Okay, so it's got a fresh battery in there. Hopefully it'll last. If not, I still got 4 more. But like I said, that camera is not the primary. It is just my, hey, here it comes, I hope. I might just adjust it a bit more. I know where north roughly is anyway, so... Alright. What camera brand? Which cameras have I got right now? So right now, this camera here is the ASI 2600 color. I have on this one here is the Blackmagic 6K pocket cinema camera with a 16 to 28mm film lot type lens, and I have my stills camera GFX 50S just in case. I don't expect to get a lot with this. It's going to be probably boring as hell. There's a SpaceX ground station about a mile from me, and I've tried many times to see them at launch, but they are already in orbit when they pass over me. Where did you say you were in again, Randy? I've forgotten already. I've heard good things about those Jackery battery units. There's so many out there right now. This is almost like we're just spoiled for choice. In fact, when Goal Zero came out with a Yeti, I want to say like 4 or 5 years ago, they kind of were the first people to come up with this concept. The mistake to me they made was they started with lead acid batteries, so they were very, very heavy. So the early adopters kind of felt like, you know what, I kind of got screwed because I'm using this heavy ass battery and I gotta lug it everywhere. It takes too long to power up, or to charge, and it kind of just went quiet. And then they finally came out with the life batteries, lithium iron phosphate, and they were just too damn expensive, to be honest. You know, $500-600 for the cheapest one, I think it was, and you'd get what, 8 hours, 10 hours maybe. And then all these other companies started popping up out of thin air, and they came up with some seriously good ones, and they're a fraction of the price. You can pick up these batteries now for like $200, and they're solar chargeable. Mead has a really nice one, which also has the AC adapter on it. Probably a little bit more off on the expensive side, compared to the others, but at least you know it's been tried and tested with all of their telescopes and anything that requires power from them, because you know you wouldn't put it under your brand name if that wasn't the case. Plus you can buy the extra solar panels, which I haven't picked up mine yet because I'm supposed to go get some. It's been kind of tricky to get anything recently, so I'm looking forward to it, to be able to charge my stuff. Oh yeah, the Jackery 1000, yeah, that thing's a monstrous thing. But you know what, believe it or not, you can run an air conditioning unit off of that thing. Not for long, but you can totally do it. I didn't know that SpaceX had anything in Newfoundland. That's news to me. I mean, I don't claim to be an expert in SpaceX. It's getting dark. Let's just bump up the exposure. You know what? I'm going to go for half seconds, so it's going to be 50 milliseconds, I think. No, 500 milliseconds is half second, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think those things can power anything 600 watts, basically, for a fair amount of time. Alright, there's no stars, obviously, yet. It's, I know the camera looks dark, but this camera that you're seeing me here makes me look really like I'm still in daytime. We're getting the shadow of the Earth as it like rolls over us, so it's just suddenly just goes vroom, just gets dark almost instantly. I'm not going to light myself during this because if I put a light in front of me, I'm not going to see a damn thing. So at some point, you're not going to see me very well. So sorry. Now here's a question for you, Brian. That's 1 kilowatt. Is that continuous or peak? See, that's the big thing. Most of these batteries, and this is sales and marketing for you, and this is applicable with anything. They tell you one particular number, but the real number is something else. Just like with mounts in general, when they say that it's 110 pound payload capacity, which is basically my EQ8, people always say, well, you've only really got 60 pounds. Here's the funny thing, on that EQ8, when it says 110, it really means 110. You can put way more than 110 on it. I've done it, I know what it's like. It doesn't even care. That's how big this mount is. But when you buy something like a VX mount and it says, you know, some silly number, I think it's like 28 pounds is the absolute max you can really go to it. I have had my Esprit 150 on a VX mount before, so don't even sweat it. Oh, so peak is more like 1.5. That's actually really good. Can I see that plane? There is a plane that is going to be coming into the field of view. So let's crank this up. I'm hoping I can see that damn plane. I can't see squat. And the neighbour's now got his lights on. Which, by the way, in this particular case is somewhat helpful because now I have a point of reference for lighting. Nope. I don't think it's dark enough for that type of lighting to become a thing. You'll see the guy's lights in this corner here. He just turned them on. He does this all the time. I'm hoping in about 14 minutes now, we've got about 14 minutes to go, I'm hoping it's going to get dark enough for this to actually become apparent. I've got no point of reference right now. So this could be a complete waste of time, I don't know. Now, if it was pitch black on the other hand, that would be a different story, but then we wouldn't see it because it wouldn't be lit by the sun, so we wouldn't see it full stop. Unless it was a transit, but then I'd have to have some serious resolving power if it even transited in front of the sun, which I highly doubt, or even in front of the moon. Again, we'd have to have such good resolving in order to make out anything that goes past. It'll just be like a wink that just goes across. For all I know, I could be completely pointing in the wrong direction. I'm trusting the app. It does say the northwest, or it enters from the northwest and goes to the southeast. I have the app open just in case. Where's my sky map? Sky map. Launch 25 Starlink. Okie dokie. Okay, that's west. North, obviously, so it'll enter in through here. Well, there's the Big Dipper. So I should get this. I mean, we're talking magnitude 2.4. It's not terribly bright. It'd been nice if it was a 1 or a 0 or a negative number, would have been phenomenal. But yeah, that's the current view, and we are looking at all of these whizzing past. That's the map. Now this map is a bit weird because of the way they've reversed it. West is on this side and east is on the other side. Remember, north, east, south, west. West is left, east is right. And this one's reversed because of the way you would look at the sky as you hold the map up, etc, etc. I don't quite understand why they reverse it. It just drives me nuts, but hey, whatever works. So as you can see, we expect to see the first one at around about 14 minutes past. It reaches its highest point at 16 minutes past. There's another plane going through the shot. Okay, hold on a second. Let's see if we can actually see this bad boy. Yes, we can. Okay, I can actually see that plane. That is that tiny, tiny little dot. So maybe up the exposure a bit more. The only problem is we still got too much night sky, blue sky. The other thing we could potentially do is mess around with the histogram. You all saw that plane go whizzing past, correct? Hopefully you did. I mean, we're still fighting with the light a little bit, but at least that gives us something. And I did see that plane go past. Yeah, so Randy, the satellites in this particular case are going to be further apart. I'm just going to go back to... Hey, look, it's me. I'm just going to go back to this so you can see how far apart they are. 15 seconds past, 18, so about 6 seconds, 4 to 6 seconds give or take. So it should be fun. Just mess with these settings. The other camera, you know what I could do? Let's change. Let's drop that down. There you go. That should be good enough. And then we can just adjust the aperture accordingly. No, I'm not using a DSLR. The camera is, my stills camera is this one here. The camera I'm actually using is the ASI 2600 color version, not the mono, it's the color version, hence why you're seeing a color image. There is a filter in here right now, which is a night glow suppression filter. I probably should have taken it out, but yeah, whatever. Nice. So this one is just going to go whistling overhead. Sorry, I've got to keep checking the batteries on the other camera. They choose, this camera chews through batteries like you wouldn't believe it. Even with these great big batteries, it still eats through it. It's a cinema-based camera. Probably doesn't help that it's trying to charge everything else at the same time. So shut up. Oh, what was that? Oh, it's another plane. Can we see the other plane? I mean, it's super faint. It's like almost straight up there now. Oh, the plane's leaving a vapor trail, but that's about it. Oof, that's way too bright. Lower the sensitivity. Okay, so we're approaching a half-second exposure soon, which is about right. This is kind of where I was aiming for. It is now 8:07. Like I said, this could be a complete waste of time, and if it is, I do apologize to everybody, but magnitude 2.4, we should see something. I will have to adjust the settings on the fly, but this goes on for at least 4 minutes, so we're bound to see something if I just keep on messing around. Because like I said, I've never done this before, I've never seen this before, so this would be quite weird. Hopefully you guys can still hear me, because I just had an error pop up telling me that my audio is not working, which I highly doubt. So if you guys can't hear me, please say something right now. Needless to say, there's a delay, so I have to wait for the delay to catch up with you, assuming that you're watching. I think it's really from me just being quiet. Okay, if Brian answered, he can obviously hear me. So yeah, YouTube, you're wrong. Everybody can hear me. Everybody can hear him. Good grief. Okay, it's definitely dark enough to see something. What time is it? 8:09. It's still a little too early for Vega to be visible. If I see one star, I'll be happy. Hello. Actually, how far down is Vega? Because Vega's probably going to be the only star that I'm going to see at this time right now. Yeah, way too low. Oh, Mars is still up over there somewhere. I don't see it. Alright, it's now 10 past 8. Battery's still got 4 out of 5. I've got plenty of juice left. Yes, my neighbour is incredibly loud. He's playing FIFA or something along those lines. He usually does at this time. It's quite amusing to watch or hear him. I don't actually watch him, hear him play. And then, as you can see, he's got his string lights on. And then he'll have his dog barking. There he is, on cue. Needless to say, he does turn this light off at around about 10, 11 o'clock. I did ask him, I did talk to him and say, hey dude, you can leave your lights on for all I care, but come a certain time, unless you're having a party or whatever, you know, social events, what, I could care less. If you're not doing anything, lights off, because that's when I'm doing my stuff. This is how I make my living, this is how I do my work, and quite honestly, sometimes when people leave these lights on, it's very difficult. Although I'm starting to get to the point where, you know what, I'm just going to start going out more often. Alright, let's take this sucker to a half-second exposure now. So we are on point for the half-second exposure. We will only adjust the gain accordingly. If it's still too dark, I will jack up the histogram so it does not affect my recording, because I'm in it for other things as well, which I suppose I better get the capture screen, unlimited frames. It's gonna give me an, I don't know what it's gonna give me. I don't know what I want. Let's just do SCR. I'll convert it later. Alright, so it's 8:12 right now. We're waiting for 8:14. Unlimited capture. What's the target name? This is Starlink. Alright. What are we looking for? Sorry, just got here. Thomas, we are looking at Starlinks. There's basically a big Starlink choo-choo train that goes whizzing past. Again, this could be an absolute failure, or it could be pretty damn cool. Nobody knows. Well, for those of you who have seen it, I may as well just shut up, because, you know, you've seen it. Alright. This is the other camera. It's all prepped and primed. In fact, you can kind of see what settings I've got here. If you're wondering about the shutter speed at 1/48th, it has to always be double that of your frame rate, because this is a video camera. I stick to certain rules when it comes down to shooting video. I try not to break those rules, because weird things happen when I go to do posts and some things just don't translate. So when I'm doing this kind of stuff, I'd rather up the ISO, open the aperture, than mess around the shutter. Is the basic answer to this. Alright, so are you guys ready? Because we are almost, it is almost time. Just gotta be patient. Now I'm going to try and look out for it visually. I wish I could just see one star right now. Just one. Oh, I think I just saw one in with averted vision. Where'd it go? I do see a star. There it is. Okay. So that's a good sign. So we can see stars now. That's a good sign. Seeing's a bit drab, but no one cares. This is not an exercise about seeing. so it should be starting any moment now, so I'm going to hit the record button now. I don't see anything yet. That's just a plane going past in the frame. Needless to say, when I process this, I will see everything probably. Because nothing is processed or heavily processed, we probably won't catch a lot. It should be happening right now. In fact, here they come. Just to show you guys, oops, sorry, wrong screen. Just to show you guys real quick, there's the choo-choo train coming along. So I don't see a damn thing. Oh boy. Well, they are coming up to the Big Dipper. Remember, this goes on for like 4 minutes almost, so I cannot see it at all visually. And I don't think the camera is picking up anything either. Alright, the train has officially started. If we were seeing them, they would be showing up right now. Just going to bump the the gain up a little bit. If you guys spot anything, that's just a. I mean, they're here now. I just don't see them. They're magnitude 2.4, so they're very, very tricky to see. But they should be visible. I don't see a damn thing. Well, I told you this may not be very good. Location is set correct, so I'm definitely in the correct location, and somebody should be showing up by now. And I can see a star over there, so we know that that's not a problem. And to be totally honest, this actually might prove my point about doing imaging. I mean, we are doing, granted it's not very long, half-second exposures with a gain setting of 189. Unrealistic as it is that we don't really image in this particular shape or form, I mean, maybe if I bumped up to 1 second, we can try that just as an experiment. We might see something. Nope, absolutely zero. I do have binoculars. The problem is I don't even know where they are. They should be passing right over my head. Visually, I still cannot see them. We still got a little bit of time left to see them flapping through. Not gonna lie, a little bit disappointed. I can see a plane going past. I mean, this train is just streaming through, pouring through, literally pouring through. This is what's really happening right now. That's how many of them there are. And it's coming to the end of the chain. But we've got nothing. I don't see anything. I'm at 1 second exposure. The gain is pretty high. Just playing with the curves. Nothing. if the sun was hitting these things, then we should see them. I'm not going to take any stills if I don't see anything, to be totally honest. I mean, I'm still recording data so I can go through, process some of these images just to see if anything shows up. Again, 2.4 magnitude should be visible. I can see a star quite easily right now looking straight up at the zenith. They are literally passing overhead and I can't see squat. Because if the camera sees it, and the camera's got better sensitivity than I do, it should see it, right? That's the theory. I can't see a damn thing. Alright, the last choo-choo train, or last Starlink satellite is whizzing past right now at zenith. And it'll be going off into the south, which is around about, you know, that side where you just kind of see my fingers come into the shot. I'm looking over there, where they should all be, and I don't see them. I see nothing. Well, that was anticlimactic. Well, so here's the interesting thing. I do need footage of Starlink. I may have to figure out how I'm going to get some. Maybe have to steal it from somebody or beg, borrow, and steal. But this partially, I don't say partially, this pretty much proves my point. The video is about Starlink and how we as astrophotographers feel that it's going to ruin the night sky. This has essentially proved that it didn't. We didn't even see anything. I could see planes going past. I can visibly see stars right now with my own eyes. These things are supposed to be 2.4 magnitude. So again, I'm just going to show you this. It is 2.4 magnitude, some of these. And they were going right overhead. So there was just literally just no way that we couldn't see these guys. It was just, you couldn't be over my head even if you tried. And we didn't see anything, which is, by the way, that's the point. If I was imaging, I mean, again, I don't know yet because I haven't processed any of these images yet, and I should really stop recording, shouldn't I? Stop. Even this camera didn't pick up anything, and it is pointed right at where the train starts. Didn't see a damn thing, and I was staring at it. When I process this, if they show up, that's a different story. If they don't show up, it proves my point that I don't think that these Starlink satellites are going to ruin our views as much as we think it does. There are other things that are way worse out there right now that would ruin our night sky view. Just to give you an idea, this is how many satellites are in the sky right now, flapping around. Yeah, I know most of them say Starlink, you know, don't get me wrong, but there are still other ones out there that are just as bad. A lot of it is just junk. Be more worried about the junk. It's still dusk, an hour later even. Well, here's the problem. An hour later, we probably wouldn't see anything. And then only certain satellites that are high up enough in orbit will be visible, especially lower to the horizon. But for here, it's pretty much it. There's nothing else that we can really see, unfortunately. There's no ISS pass. It's not the time of season for it just yet. I know there is one coming up in a couple of days. The May 15th is my next one. That happens at 8:43. That one we will see. It's a negative 3.9. Well, might as well be a negative 4 at this point, but we'll see that one coming. It's that bright. But yeah, that's needless to say, it was disappointing. I do apologise for those of you who are expecting to see this giant choo-choo train. It does, again, like I say, proves my point about Starlink not being as intrusive as we think it's going to be. That was a lot that went over our heads. In fact, it was the whole damn train going over our heads. There could have been a chance that there was an error in the calculations or whatever the case may be. That's why I'm still sitting here, in case they show up late. You know, better late than never, as they say. But every camera is still pointed skywards, and I am still staring, and I don't see a thing. And I can see plenty of stars right now. I'm going to bump up the exposure. Let's do a 4-second exposure and see what happens. Oopsies. Oh, I don't have power plugged in. I might have to plug this into power in order to get longer exposures. Okay, it seems to be alright. Alright. I'm going to stick around out here for a little bit longer. I'm going to just check out to see what else is going on. You never know, you might catch something. They could be late. I highly doubt that. Alright, sorry, I was just reading you guys' comments and all that kind of stuff. Is there another crossing predicted by another trade in the next half an hour? Maybe. Maybe. Starlink passes, so... Nothing for launch 27, but launch 25... There'll be another... It's a magnitude 4, we're not going to see anything. That's really, really dim. Let me look at launch 24 real fast. I mean, launch 24 is going to be so spread out, to be honest. Yeah, it's just launch 25. There's a small potential for tomorrow, but it's a magnitude 4. It's at around about 8:30, so it would be darker. And it's going to be a tricky one to see, though. It's very, very low to the horizon. I might try for that one, since it's only going to be tomorrow at 8:30. If I do go for it, I will go live again. I would love for you to see this. It's probably something that's going to be really, really cool. I don't know. I've never seen it before. I just get to see other people's footage of it, you know. It just really bugs me that I don't get to see this cool stuff. Just for fun, I am just going to crank up the gain because we're not doing anything right now. It's 2-second exposures. I bet you guys didn't know this, that even at night the sky is still blue. It doesn't magically change colour. I have no idea if that little dot up there is a star or if it's a hot spot. Oh no, they're stars. Oh look, the Big Dipper. I can actually see the Big Dipper. Those lens flares are coming from the guy's lights. I don't know if I can just frame them out, maybe. Yeah, good enough. Yep, I can see the Big Dipper. We were definitely in the right spot, so I didn't miss it. Yes, the neighbour from hell. So yeah, if you guys are still watching, if you can see my mouse cursor, that star, that star, that star, there's another star somewhere there, here, here, and here. There's the Big Dipper. As you can see, we were staring right at it as the choo-choo train should have just went right through here, across the sky. Again, I haven't looked at the video footage. I need to process all of that stuff. It's kind of neat, those lens flares there, but who knows? Maybe I got it, maybe I didn't. I just don't know until I process the footage. It's just a shame that they weren't really bright for you guys to visibly see them. Alright, I'm pretty much going to end this because I'm sure you guys don't want to listen to me talk utter drivel for the next, I don't know how long, much longer I'm going to sit out here for. But what's that going across the sky? That's a plane. So, definitely seeing something? I don't know. Alright, thanks for watching.